What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, as you can tell, we're going to be experimenting with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has decided that he does not want to be in Minnesota anymore. So Minnesota just basically traded Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, and Lauren Markkinen for 59 games of Jimmy Butler. That is a sad reality to face for Minnesota Timberwolves fans, because that's kind of a waste of talent, if you ask me. It also kind of depends what they get back for Jimmy Butler. A lot of people are saying that they just traded for nothing. But, I mean, depending on the package they get for Jimmy Butler, maybe it turns into something good for them, but I doubt it. But we're going to go ahead today and start with the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to see how Jimmy Butler does with the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to see how he does with the Knicks. And then we're going to see how he does with the Clippers. So the trade I got for the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie and Allen Crabbe for Jimmy Butler. Something simple like that. I don't expect the Timberwolves get a huge return for Jimmy Butler just because they're kind of pinned against a wall right now. I feel like Jimmy Butler is going to, basically do what Le'Veon Bell's doing right now in the NFL. He's not going to show up. As long as they don't trade him. I mean, Le'Veon Bell doesn't want to be traded. He just wants to get paid. But as long as Jimmy Butler does not get traded, he's not showing up. That's what I just feel like that's about to happen. So, Jimmy Butler on to the Brooklyn Nets. And then for the rotation that I got, or that we can make for the Brooklyn Nets, we have D'Angelo Russell, Jimmy Butler, DeMar Carroll, Kenneth Faried, Jarrett Allen, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Ed Davis, Shabazz Napier, and Caris LeVert. The only thing I would like to change is Rondae getting those power forward minutes, just because Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, I think, is a little bit better than Kenneth Faried at this moment. So, I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the year. Let's see how Jimmy Butler does with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, guys, I'm not expecting a championship throughout this video. I just want to see what's basically going to happen. This is an experiment. I just want to see what Jimmy Butler would do on each of these teams. So let's go ahead and start with the Brooklyn Nets. Let's start this end of the season with the Brooklyn Nets. Jimmy Butler does make the All-NBA second team, and then he also makes the All-Defensive first team with the Brooklyn Nets. So, very nice. We're also second in the Eastern Conference with Jimmy Buckets on our team. So, very cool. As far as the player stats went for Jimmy Butler on the Nets, 23 points, and D'Angelo Russell at 22. So, nice backcourt there. Something they could build around if they really want to. D'Angelo Russell having a good season. Although, would D'Angelo Russell be included in the trade for Minnesota? To Minnesota for Jimmy Butler? I feel like in a perfect situation, Minnesota would love to get D'Angelo Russell back for Jimmy Butler, just because it kind of fits the timeline of Wiggins and Towns. But would the Timberwolves or would the Nets be willing to part ways with D'Angelo Russell is a different story. And are the Nets going to want to pay him? I don't know how much money D'Angelo Russell is going to warrant this offseason, but he definitely is a free agent coming up. So, should be interesting. We're facing Atlanta Hawks in the first round, so let's go ahead and see if we can beat them in the first round. I hope so, because Trae Young and the Hawks have no business being in the playoffs this coming season anyway. Just being honest, I think Trae Young, this is going to be a decent season for him, but obviously I don't think he's leading the Hawks to the playoffs. That's not going to happen. So, up 1-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks. We're on to the second round. Up 2-1 from Milwaukee, and just like that, we get eliminated in the second round. So, not a big deal for that closeout game. D'Angelo Russell led the way with 28 points, and Jimmy Butler had 25. As far as the closeout game for this one, Jimmy Butler had 34 points and 23 points for DeMar Carroll. Russell had 27-9, almost a triple-double. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the New York Knicks now. Let's see what kind of package the New York Knicks could send, although the Knicks have already come out and said that they're not going to trade for anybody they know they can sign in free agency, which is kind of smart. So, let's go ahead and just see. So for the New York Knicks, I feel like a package of Tim Hardaway, Noah Vonleh, and a second-round pick is going to suffice the Timberwolves. Like I said, I don't believe the Timberwolves are going to get a lot in return. I just don't think that's the case, because they're kind of pinned up against a wall right now at the moment, so they kind of have to trade Jimmy Butler. So I think this is going to be the next trade we do for just the New York Knicks case. But we have Jimmy Butler as your shooting guard, Chris Stapps, Porzingis, power forward, and his Kendrick. So this should be a decent team as well. Although, Frank Ntilikina, will they be willing to trade him away? Probably not. They kind of want to hang on to him to see maybe what he does in the second season. Or this be his third season? I think this is going to be his third season coming up, not his second. Or is it? I don't remember anymore. I'm drawing a blank. It's his third or second season. I can't remember. But Jimmy Butler, the starting five is fine. I think what we need to fix is this backup rotation. Let's do a 9-man rotation with David Fizdale. And then let's go give some, or not Joakim Noah, absolutely not. Let's give Mitchell Robinson those last 14 minutes. That way he can get some more minutes. And then we'll move Mario Hezonja to the 3, and I think we'll roll with that. So this is going to be the rotation let's see how this team does for this season. I honestly expect them to obviously make the playoffs with Jimmy Butler and Kristaps Porzingis leading the way in the weak Eastern Conference, but with 2K, they may have other plans, so I'm going to go ahead and just start the simulation. Let's see how the Jimmy Butler makes the All-NBA second, or defensive second team, not the All-NBA first team. No All-NBA teams for Jimmy Butler that time. We went 41-41, but we are in the playoffs, so I mean, you can't really complain much there. So playoffs for us here, for the playoffs or player stats, 27 leading the way for Kristaps Porzingis, and Jimmy Butler had 18 points. Can you imagine, though, a team of Porzingis, Butler, and Kyrie Irving? That's going to be pretty deadly in the Eastern Conference if something like that were to happen. So we're facing the Washington Wizards in their first round. Let's go ahead and see if we can knock off the Washington Wizards. It's going to be tough just because the Wizards assembled a pretty nice team this offseason. They built some good pieces around John Wall and Bradley Beal, but we do get eliminated in 6 games, which I said it was going to be tough. But for that closeout game, let's go ahead and see who led the way there. Enes Kanter had 21 and 16. Jimmy Butler with 15 and Porzingis with 14. So kind of at the end, non-existent Jimmy Butler, and Kevin Knox had 17 points. So not too bad, but I guess we're going to go ahead and move on to the most intriguing team. I think the team that has the most to offer, the Los Angeles Clippers. So I think Jimmy Butler will most likely land with the Clippers. I feel like they have the most to offer, and if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm going to the Clippers out of the Knicks. I mean, obviously, they don't have to choose between these 3 teams. They can trade them to whoever they want. But if you're going to choose between those 3 teams, I'm going to the Clippers over the Knicks and Nets, just because the Clippers have a little bit more to offer, I feel like. So let's go ahead and see how Jimmy Butler will do. So for this last trade of the video, Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley for Jimmy Butler and Justin Patton. I think this is the best available trade for the Timberwolves if they were to trade with these 3 teams. I think Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley is the best situation for them. I mean, if the Clippers could get Justin Patton as a throw-in, that would be super nice, because obviously the center position isn't the greatest for them right now. They have Marcin Gortat, who's obviously not the future there. He's like 33 years old. So Justin Patton maybe come over to the Los Angeles Clippers and be the future there. I don't know. We'll see. But I think Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley, like I said, would be the best possible scenario if they chose out of those 3 teams, just because they could plug in Tobias Harris at the power forward, and then Avery Bradley could start at the shooting guard with Jeff Teague in the backcourt. And like I said, Tobias Harris could stretch the floor for Towns down low, and Wiggins still could play the 3. So I think that's pretty much the best case scenario. But for the starting 5, we have Beverly, Jimmy Buckets, Danilo Gallinari, Montrezl Harrell, Marcin Gortat, Lou Williams, Mike Scott, Luke Bahamute, Boban Marjanovic. So let me fix this up a little bit, just because I'm going to go ahead and move Luke Bahamute to the 3, and then whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Let's do that. So Bahamute is going to play the 3, Beverly, and then we got Jimmy Butler at the shooting guard, small forward Luke Bahamute, and then we're going to have Gallinari play the power forward over Montrezl Harrell, just because obviously Gallinari can stretch the floor a little bit more. So Gallinari is going to get 29 minutes, and then where did they plug Lou Williams at? Okay, he's still there. I'm just making sure. All right, and then Mike Scott, Boban Marjanovic. I kind of want to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get some more minutes over Boban, just to be honest. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that Boban's not bad either. If they just wanted to potentially play Shai and Jerome Robinson, just let them sit on the bench, just watch the season, that's something they could do. But 30 minutes for Lou Williams, and then we'll probably take another minute away from Patrick Beverley as well, because we could have Butler and Lou Williams play down the stretch. So not a bad team at all. So Jimmy Butler on the Clippers. Let's see how this team will do. And like I said, I like the team of the Timberwolves now. I think this is the best case scenario if they chose out of 3 teams. I've said that already many times, but I just had to express it even more. Tobias Harris, play the power forward. He's going to stretch the floor, let Towns play down low. Wiggins at the 3, and then Jeff Teague and Bradley at the backcourt. I think that's a pretty decent team still for the Timberwolves. I don't know if it makes the playoffs in the stacked Western Conference, but it's still a decent team nonetheless. So let's go ahead and see how this Los Angeles Clippers team will do. All-NBA second team for Jimmy Butler, and all-defensive second team for Jimmy Butler as well. But 38-44. So that does not get it done in the least Eastern Conference, the weak Eastern Conference. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So, oh well, I guess, or wait, we're in the Western Conference this time. We're the Clippers, I forgot. So, yeah, it didn't go as well, but it's okay. For the player stats, we have Jimmy Butler with 24 points. Lou Williams had 17 off the bench, so not bad. But basically, whatever happens, if he does get traded to one of these 3 teams, it opens the door for the Clippers, the Nets, or the Knicks' future going forward, because you could potentially sign another star next to Jimmy Butler. I guarantee you stars are going to look at your team and say, they already have Jimmy Butler, maybe we could build something nice there, and that's going to be a nice team going forward. Whichever team decides to pull the trigger, if it's one of these three teams, it could be a totally different team we're not even talking about. Whoever pulls the trigger is going to have a nice future going forward, because like I said, if all three of these teams have cap space, this is why Jimmy Butler is requesting to go to these three teams, because they have cap space, and Jimmy Butler is trying to win a championship before it is all said and done, and you have to respect that. But like I said, it just really depends on whether these three teams are willing to do it. I think the Clippers would be willing to do it, and I think the Nets might be able to do it. So the Knicks sound like they're going to wait, which is fine with them. That's fine, but I don't know. You might be risking losing Kyrie Irving if Jimmy Butler is sitting over there in Brooklyn, and then Kyrie's like, well, I kind of wanted to play with Jimmy Butler anyway, so instead of going to New York Knicks, I'm going to go to Brooklyn, New York. So other than that, that's all my thoughts on this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think about this whole Jimmy Butler situation? It is pretty crazy. I mean, we kind of expected this to happen after all the rumors have been swirling around about Jimmy Butler and how unhappy he is. But anyways, guys, this is Crushfuls, and I'm saying peace.